Good morning. Today I was planning on discussing home confinement after last week's segment on the halfway house. But during the past week, I received calls from two new clients, and I thought their issues and concerns might be a little more germane and pressing to a lot of you who might be watching this. The first client is scheduled to be sentenced in a week or two. He went to trial, a physician, and he was not successful, and his sentencing is coming up. Part of the concern he and his family have is that they recently moved to South Florida, and depending upon the sentence, are wondering what's the best facility for him to go to. Now, we don't know what his sentence is going to be, and part of the preparation and planning was for myself to discuss with the family, as well as the attorney, what might be the best place. If he's sentenced to 10 years or less, well, he's eligible for a federal prison camp. And there are different kinds of camps. There are satellite camps, which are next to higher level institutions, like in Miami. And there are federal prison camps, like Pensacola or Montgomery, Alabama, which are standalone institutions. Each have their positives and drawbacks, depending upon what programs you're eligible for and really where your family lives. I'm a big proponent of the federal prison camp, and if this family lives in South Florida, my recommendation for them would be the camp at Pensacola. This client also qualifies for the RDAP drug and alcohol program based on his pre-sentence report, and that to me would be the best possible facility for him, also because a camp like Pensacola has other programs that are available to him that might help in shortening his time of incarceration. But clients have to be aware of what the concerns are regarding designation and what can and cannot be done. While we can never guarantee a specific location that a client might serve, certainly going into sentencing and asking a judge for certain recommendations based on programs, the Bureau of Prisons policy statement regarding where an inmate should be located in relation to their family, and what programs might the client and or inmate be best not only eligible for, but suited for, all play into the BOP's determination. You always want to try to ask for a designation request prior to or at sentencing, because once you've been designated, trying to be redesignated can be very, very challenging unless there are very, very good reasons, might they be medical reasons, that might require or assist in a redesignation request. So trying to get it right the first time is always the best solution. We can have that conversation with you and your attorneys prior to sentencing as far as which facility, most of our clients are camp eligible, is most appropriate for you and your loved ones. The second client is getting ready to surrender to the camp in Sheridan in a few weeks to serve a 5-year sentence. He qualifies for RDAP in his pre-sentence report, and I worked extensively with him over the past 2 years, not only preparing him for what was in front of him, preparing for his pre-sentence report, but now ultimately preparing him for his surrender. And he did something which I thought was unique last week. He sent me a list of about 20 questions that came to mind. He read the BOP handbook for Sheridan, and while it's a very outdated handbook, came up with a number of questions and concerns he has about surrendering. And a few of them I thought were somewhat unique. One of which is, what happens if I don't get along with my bunkmate? How do I avoid the friction and problems inherent in a facility like prison? Now, while he'll be in a camp and it's a non-violent setting, obviously avoiding problems and conflict are a major concern. And it should be, because staying out of trouble and really minding your own business and doing your time, serving your time, not worrying about someone else's, is the key to a successful journey while in prison, and ultimately helping you get out of prison to a non-custodial sentence as quickly as possible. So now I like to ask clients and prospective clients before they surrender come up with a list of questions that you might have, concerns. There's no question or concern that your family might have that's too silly, too embarrassing, too minimal, too anything that you shouldn't ask, because these are yours and your family's concerns, and they deserve to be answered. And they deserve to be answered one-on-one, not in a group or communal setting where you might be trying to vie for time with other people. You deserve to have your questions answered, both one-on-one and independent and unique, because these are your questions and concerns. So while next week, hopefully we'll talk about home confinement, I wanted to encourage you to think about what you need to be concerned with, both pre-sentencing, designation, where you're going to serve, and what happens post-sentencing. How do you prepare, how do your families prepare for the next step of this journey? What happens when you do surrender? How do you get the best results? What are the best places to do? What programs are you eligible for? So I encourage you to reach out, call me, text me, or email me, and let's have that conversation. Thank you again.